you, Reverend O'Connor. I'm proud to say, first and foremost, I'm a friend of your pastor, Reverend O'Connor, for many years, and it is a true honor and privilege to be here. I'm also a son of Southeast Queens. I was born in Hollis, Terrace Heights Hospital, as my wife was born in the same hospital, Terrace Heights Hospital, just a few years ago. And I'm a proud graduate of York College. Thank you. I got some Yorkies in the house, I know. I got one during the breakfast. And I started York in September '75, graduated in 1980, and I used to take the bus to Jamaica Avenue and walk these streets. At that time, we had no campus. York campus was basically the whole community. The old Montgomery Ward store on Jamaica across the street from Kings Park was our main building, and Hillside. So this was my campus, and proud of it. And I became a police officer in 1979, and I was originally assigned to this very area of Queens. And I had my first foot posts on Jamaica, Parsons, Sutphin, and protected the community. And I have to tell you, in those days, some of you were here who would remember them as well. We had a lot more crime and disorder than we have now. And in some ways, it was a discouraging time to be a young 22-year-old idealistic police officer. But I always knew we could do better. And I went to law school, the night program, and an NYPD scholarship at St. John's, like I said, son of Queens. And I ended up getting transferred to Brooklyn, and I was a midnight police officer, and I was able to rise through the ranks. And we did some things in the police department in the mid-90s that I'm very proud of. We really got to the bottom of, we came up with a theory that if you take care of the little things, at that time we had homicides in New York of up to 2,000 murders a year, much more than we have now, like 4 times as much as we have more. Subways were much, much worse. And we came up with some ideas that if we took care of some of the little things and started creating accountability for quality of life type issues like fare evasions and drug selling in communities, and we used to have these smoke shops where they used to sell crack and things like that. And we did a lot of work. And there was a commissioner named Braden who I was able to work for, and we made a lot of progress. And we got, by 2018, 2017, we had murders in New York under 300. Entire communities came back to life. York College campus springing up. So many great things happening in our city. And I became a judge in 2010, left the police department, and I went into the criminal court. And I was always interested in helping people. And I got a lot of assignments based on my experience in the city that gave me great opportunities to do that. And one of the things I'm most proud of is I created youth parks in Brooklyn for young people to divert them when they got arrested for some low-level things, and some things that weren't always so low-level, but we would take them and give them programs focusing on self-esteem, accountability, and turn them around, and try and turn them around anyway, get there and dismiss their cases. And then I went to the Bronx, and I created an opioid court. We called it the OR Court, the Overdose Avoidance and Recovery Court. We were able to bring people in who were homeless, mentally ill, serious substance use, creating crimes in the community, difficult quality of life type issues. I get them in front of me, wrap them around with services, and get them to a better place. Even if they needed inpatient services, we could do that. And then we would dismiss and seal their case. And then I came here to Queens, and I was the administrative judge. But I left. I left August 31st of this year, even though I was the administrative judge, to run for district attorney. The reason I did that is some very difficult things happened in our state. We had something called the criminal justice reform legislation passed in Albany in 2019. It's commonly known as bail reform. Now, the goals were great goals: to minimize the use of cash bail, minimize the Rikers population, and theoretically create a safer atmosphere for all. But the process was a very flawed process. It was rushed through the state legislature. They consulted extensively with advocates, but not with judges like me, not with law enforcement, not with district attorneys. And we have a situation now where there's all kinds of crimes, from low-level assaults to the drug dealings, to the fare evasions, and we can go with thefts, all kinds of larcenies, and there's no real-time accountability. So people can get arrested not once, not 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. We all know this. And the leverage of the court has been undermined. So to do the very youth programs that I was so proud of, the OR court that I spoke about, that I was implementing citywide, totally undermined. And we need district attorneys. You need district attorneys who have the courage and the conviction to stand up for what is right. And as a judge, ethically, I would not even be able to speak to you about these things the way I am now. That's the rules, and that's fine rules. That's why I left the bench. And you need district attorneys who have courage to use the laws that are available to protect you. Crime in Queens is going way up, almost 40% up so far this year. It does not have to be that way. You have the right. Public safety is a right, not just for the privileged, but for all of you. You have the right to walk your streets, to take your children to school, to worship. You have that right. And I will be that kind of district attorney. I served on the Greater Jamaica Board for a number of years with Reverend O'Connor. I know how progressive he is and what a wonderful congregation you have. But you need also, for you to be able to function, you have to be able to worship free of fear. You have to be protected. And that's the district attorney I will be, and I'm just so thrilled I have the opportunity during that to speak to all of you. Thank you.